of 2024 is a grand rising. And this month, the month of October, our theme is power to the people. And power has been on a lot of people's minds. So our title of our talk today is Our Personal Power, and it will be given by our wonderful Reverend Charlene. We are so glad that you took some time out of your day to join us. Please feel free to add to the chat or comment section any prayer requests or celebrations that you would like us to include later in our service when we do our affirmative prayer, which we call spiritual mind treatment. We are so glad, like I said, that you joined us. You made it. You're here. So sit back, relax, and enjoy our welcoming video.
Join us as we create our sacred space. We set our intentions of deepening into our awareness and practice of our 5 pillars of spiritual living by lighting this candle in our virtual world. Our first pillar is sacred study, represented by the divine quality of truth. We use this pillar to recognize the importance of an open mind and the power of our minds. The second pillar is affirmative prayer, represented by the divine quality power. This pillar honors the power of prayer in our daily lives. Our third pillar is meditation and the divine quality of peace. This pillar reminds us of the importance of meditation and the peace we feel when we quiet our minds. The fourth pillar is circulation and the divine quality of life. We know that the great law of circulation works in our lives. As we give, so shall we receive. And the fifth pillar is sacred service and the divine quality of love. This pillar affirms our call to be of service to our world as we see through the eyes of love. Let us close our eyes as we bless the sacred space and our time together. As we weave each of these pillars of spiritual living into our service today, may they deepen our own spiritual practices of study, prayer, meditation, circulation, and service, expanding our minds and our hearts to the 5 divine qualities of truth, power, peace, life, and love. We also bless everyone who made our service possible today and everyone in attendance. May the energy of love that is generated here bless everyone abundantly, and so it is.
And so it is. All right, folks, now it's time for our meditation. So I invite you to get comfortable, relax in your chair. I'm assuming that you're sitting and just in a place where you can shake off any stress, any worry, any anxiety. Take that to-do list, shove it to the side, and let's just begin by taking a few deep breaths. Inhale and hold and exhale. Inhale and hold. Exhale. Let's do that one more time because it feels so good. Inhale. Hold. And exhale. I was talking with some friends yesterday, and the topic of meditation came up, and breathing, actually taking some time out in your day, each and every day, just to go into a meditative state, put all those busy thoughts that rattle around in our brains on hold, just pause, maybe meditate, maybe just focus on your breath, take some deep breaths. It's not just good for you physically, it's good for you mentally and emotionally. So, title of our talk today, our personal power. I decided to select the I Am meditation. You might have heard this before. It's a good one. So here we go. You can repeat after me as I say some key phrases from this meditation, or you can just take in the words and sit in that relaxing state of mind. It's up to you. You get to decide. You have the power. So here's our first one. I am abundant. I am abundant. And I want to invite you to think of all the places in your life where there is abundance. Don't think at all about any lack. Chase that thought out of your mind. Think about all the wonderful things that you have in your life. And you can think of the blades of grass, the leaves, the beautiful fall leaves, if you're experiencing autumn. Think of the fish in the sea. Think of the stars that fill up the night sky. Think of all the organs, the bones, the muscles in your body, the cells that are constantly building, rebuilding, making you strong. There is so much abundance in your life. I am abundant. Now let's go to our next one. I am worthy of love, and I am filled with love for others. Two separate things, right? First, let's focus on I am worthy of love. I am unique. I am, what is the word we had earlier this year? Imperfectly perfect. Just the way I am. I am worthy of love. Sometimes I forget. And when I do, all I have to do is remind myself, wait a minute. Stop that negative thought. Chase that out of here. I am worthy of love. And I am full of love for others. We talked about the law of circulation. As we breathe in, we breathe out. It's natural. As the tides flow in, they flow out. I give love, and I am open to receiving love. I am worthy of love. Next one. I am beautiful, whole, and complete. And I radiate positive light from within. My aura shines brightly. And I attract health and wellness into my life. I flood my body with positive energy. I am whole, I am beautiful, and my body is perfect, just as it is. And let's do one more, because this leads in to our theme for the day. I am a powerful force of good in the world. I am a powerful force of good in the world. And you can picture anything you want. Maybe you can picture that hurricane image that we saw, but imagine it just being a powerful force of good, not destruction, just sweeping your area, your state, your country, the world. I am a powerful force as I spread goodness onto everything that I see, that I touch, that I hear, and it just ripples out and out and out. I am powerful. All right, take another deep breath. Open your eyes if you had them shut. Wiggle a little bit, the toes, the fingers, shrug your shoulders. And as you slowly rejoin us, it's time to listen to some music by Leah.
Thank you so much, Tamara. I believe the greatest power that we have is to decide how we're going to show up in the world. So that's what this song is about. Trouble above, trouble below, trouble ahead of me. What do you know? Wake up in the morning. What do I find? Trouble is everywhere, and ain't none on my mind. 'Cause I've got peace like a river, love through the night. I've got joy like a fountain. I'm gonna be alright, 'cause I've got rhythm and harmony ringing in me. Love is free, peace is free, joy is free, free, free. Whatever way we're looking, yeah, there is something there to see. So is life a paradise or a prison? Tell me, what do you believe? We can have peace like a river, love from our souls. We can have joy as a beacon, guiding everywhere we go. Just let your heart beat the rhythm, and let the anthem we sing be. Love is free, peace is free, joy is free, free, free. Yes, I know that joy is free, free, free.
Yay! Woo. That was so great. I love it. I just love the lilt of that song. Thank you, Leah. Thank you, Tamara, for that opening meditation affirmation journey. I love those affirmations. Thank you. It's almost like we planned it, you guys. Did you hear the lyrics? Love is free, joy is free, peace is free, free, free. Yet one would think that it costs money. One would think we need money to get those things, because how many times have we been told to strive? Strive for that promotion, strive for the raise, go for more money and more money, because money equals, that's right, many people will tell you money equals power. Does it though? Does it? I would submit that no, it does not. In fact, starting with something I mentioned last week, I was reading this book. Now, mind you, I'm on a walk, I'm looking at Audible, like thinking, okay, we're going to talk about power. Let me find a really good book about power that I could pull from. And the worst possible book that I could pull from chose me. It said The 48 Rules of Power. And I was like, what? Or it was like laws of power. They're not even rules. They were supposed to be universal laws of power. And I was like, I bet you this is not power at all, with a big P. I bet they're talking about the little p power. So I went in listening to it. Absolutely right. They were talking about how to wrest control over other people using subterfuge and all kinds of dastardly ways. And I mentioned last week there was a title called Make Friends, but Don't Be a Real Friend. Be a Spy. And I was like, I mean, maybe that works for you if you're doing power from a very ego-based, separation-based, shall I say masculine, warmonger-based, national power, let's fight, let's go to war. From that point of view, every one of those laws made perfect sense until one realizes power over others is no freedom at all. Seeking the power over others in and of itself is to say to oneself, in fact, as I finished listening to the entire book for you. And there was a part where the author, who pulled all of the anecdotes and laws from all the different, from Machiavelli's The Prince, or from Nietzsche's work, just from ancient times, stories of the past, current stories of how power is wrested from one another. Every single time that they went into details, sometimes they got close to something spiritual. There was one of their laws of power that said, listen to people so that you can understand what they need and then give them what they need before they even ask. Be the servant. And I'm like, oh yeah, this is good. But then he goes, but not for spiritual reasons. You do it for the money. And I'm like, oh, here we go. Like, literally, you're not. And it says, you're kind of acting like a bit of a monk, but you're not doing it for spiritual reasons. You're doing it for the success. And I'm just like, wow. So you're just never going to, it's even coming through your own teaching. You're just really going to not see this? But that's okay. I knew what I was getting into. I knew that I was going into this set of so-called laws because those are the laws that govern a life that happens to me. The first stage of conscious unfoldment is everything happens to me. And the minute you get a little bit of power, if you're thinking from this egocentric sense of separation, the first thing you do when you get a little bit of power is you turn around and you treat other people bad. That's what the goal is. Have you met a bully on the playground? That bully on the playground is probably getting bullied at home. And so the minute they do get some sense of power over others, they just act just as bad, just as poorly toward other people. But on a spiritual journey of unfoldment and growth, we know that that's not the final story. We know that true power with a capital P is something that can only be found within first. And we talked about that last week. And today I'm here to talk to you about how we can find our personal power, which is truly, spoiler alert, it's a connection within to the divine, to the creator of life itself. Life created what we see and experience out of itself. The divine is a creator. We are the creation. We are also creating our reality out of almost nothing. Out of almost nothing, we can bring forth all the things that we desire. That is what true power is. It does not look externally. It does not compare. And it does not put oneself down in order to or become envious of what they see, of what we see. When we're in our true power, we know that we are connected to the divine, and so are you. We look at each other, and instead of envying Tamara's success or Leah's voice or Nancy's beautiful children and grandchildren, and I could go on and on with every person in this Zoom room right now, instead of looking at you and being envious of you, I use my personal power to say, look how God expresses herself in these beautiful people. Look at God. My mom and I have a joke too. Look at God. When anything works out right for us, look at God. And it's just great. Look at how God expresses itself. The talent, the pure genius that comes rolling forth from each human being, amazing. Different every time. Never a cookie cutter experience. And so for me to compare myself would be a little weird, wouldn't it? It would be to conflate that, oh, everyone's exactly the same. No, we're unity. We're unified, but we're not identical. We're each different in a fabulous way. So we do not seek to one-up each other. We do not think that each other's success is going to take away from our own success. In fact, I love it. When I first got to Northern Virginia from California, my favorite thing to do was to drive through Great Falls. Let me tell you why. I used to live in California, Southern California, right, in an apartment right there in Beverly Hills, in an apartment. Okay, and when I would drive around the Beverly Hills streets, I always told myself, you could never afford this. This is, wow, I wonder how much that place costs. That looks amazing, and I could never. I always think, 14 million, yikes. I'm gonna need a discount? Like, how am I gonna buy that? I knew I wanted something nice like that, but I couldn't afford it. I moved to Northern Virginia. It was in 1999, I feel like, 1998. Driving from the airport through Great Falls, and the taxi drivers taking us through these amazing neighborhoods, the mansions that would put the LA mansions to shame, beautiful homes. And I'm like, wow, I wonder how many millions are these homes. And the cab driver starts laughing, and he's like, no, that one's about 750,000. That one's about 500,000. Mind you, it was 20-something years ago. So, and I was like, what? In that moment, I knew that you can have what you want. It's just, like they say with real estate, location, location, location. That's one thing. But another thing, I would never again tell myself, oh, that's nice, they have that, but I could never. They have that because they're special, and I could never live a life of. And now, I'm not going to sit here and say the only things I dream about are material wealth. And it's not bad. It's not a bad thing to want material wealth. It's just, what do you think is going to come from that? This is where I would ask you to sit and just sort of consider, when I do get that thing, which, by the way, if they can do it, I could do it too. So I would purposely drive through the neighborhoods and say, look, these are just examples of how life can be, not only for these people, but also for me. Why not me? Was my favorite phrase. Why not me? I would never again think that a dream is too lofty for me, because if someone has it, if it's doable somewhere, then I can also do it. Which, that kind of takes the heat off it, doesn't it? Because then I'm focusing on what is mine to do. Again, I will say, seeking the money for the money's sake, you could fall into the trap of seeking power over for power's sake. So I would like you to just follow along this thinking where we realize we have personal power. We realize that affirmation that Tamara gave us, I am abundant, that is true. So now the only question is, what do you really want for it to look like in your life? When you look out and see examples of how other people are living, instead of envying them, let it be fodder for, I wonder how that would feel for me. How could I be more of service by living in that kind of truth? And we're simply looking for, what am I here to do? What is this combination of me-ness? What is this collection of talents and gifts that I've been given? How does that work in a way that can uplift others? How can I do that? And if you think about this, many organizations, like here, we often think that if we have power, if we succeed in our business, if you're doing it so people can listen to you, so that you'll have plenty of money, and then you'll be free to do what you want, that's not the goal. There are billionaires who feel alone. They feel every time somebody comes up to them, it's going to be a plea for money. So they can't even trust regular people saying hello to them at the gym. Oh, that's right. They're not allowed to interact with regular people at the gym because they have bodyguards flanking them. These billionaires that have so-called power can't even go to a monastery, sit down with a bunch of monks, and say for the weekend without going through a big old dramatic process, background checks, and all these. They're not free. And let me tell you something. on the way to get to be the billionaire, perhaps they put aside the things that would have been, what we call happiness in the moment. Happiness. Just being able to sit down with our family for dinner. Being able to go on vacation without having the device out, without looking for a Wi-Fi signal. To be able to just be. Many of the business people that are searching and seeking that monetary wealth over all things, they're missing everyday joys, the free stuff that Leah was talking about, because they think money's gonna buy me an even higher degree of love, joy, peace. But here's the problem. What if you get whacked by a bus on the way to work to get the money that's supposed to free you so that you could look and smell the roses? Then you missed it. Your whole life gone in a wink of an eye. Like, this is the truth. If it's true that what we seek is free, first of all, peace, love, happiness, what human does not want that? And when we seek it in a way that when we get or when we achieve certain goals, the fact that we achieved it becomes a way for us to give back. Well, now we know that we're in the flow of the universe. I mean, every year, isn't it done? The top 15 companies to work for. And how do you know that they're good? How do you know that the company is a great company to work for? Well, typically in their mission statement, in their vision statement, it's all about the people that work there. They always measure it based on how much time do you get to have for maternal family leave, they'll call it, maternity and paternity leave. How much vacation time do you get? How good is the health plan? Do you feel supported, heard, listened to in this organization? And the more that is possible, the more that they can do that, the more successful that business is. But that is an elevated way of looking at the world. That is not from an egocentric, to me, everything happens to me and I'm going to bully people until they give me what I want. That's how you deplete people and get them to leave. But if you're a philanthropic organization that, for profit, again, nothing wrong with the money itself. It's the source of separation, though, when we ignore everything in pursuit of the money itself. Because then you get into the place of, well, how much is enough? How much is enough? Everybody in Silicon Valley, of course I read this, I left Northern California years ago, but everybody in Silicon Valley, there are millionaires in house one that want to be like the multimillionaires in house number two, but that house is full of people that have their eye toward the 100 millionaires in the house number three. It's never enough. No matter how high you climb on the comparison ladder, there's always another rung. So we cannot, I know I'm speaking to the choir here, of course, we all know that simply pursuing the one up and the next step so that we could be even better on some external measure, that's not a rewarding path. It never is. It's always fraught with, is this all there is? So there's something else going on. And if you are on that path, I'm not mad at you. If you're multimillionaire, yay for you. Not going to try to tell you to give all that away and renounce all of your possessions. No. For each one of us, I want us to focus on our spiritual power, the capital P power that we have in this moment. The one that when we connect with ourselves and we're not coming from a sense of separation, when I can look at you as me, when I see each one of us as God in the flesh, then what I do with myself is simply look to serve. How can I serve? How can I help? And then when I have visions of my business, I'm always asking, how can this serve? How can what I'm about to do serve others? It's not enough if all it does is put money in my pocket, because we know that just comes with more problems. But if we have an idea and the universe gave it to us, like we'll sit envisioning and what is mine to do, what is trying to come through me, visioning. And we take notes, feel through what's coming through. If we ask, it will be answered. All we have to do is ask. What is trying to come through me? And it will come through. It'll be a glimpse. It'll be a hint. It might be colors. It might be a flavor. It might be music that you hear. Something will answer you, because when we ask sincerely, there will be an answer. That's just scripture right there. So when we ask, it is answered. I recommend sit down, notepad, just take some notes. What is mine to do? And then sometimes we ask that second question, what should I let go of? What can I let go of to make room for what's trying to come through? And then you'll get some hints, some tips. Don't judge it, just take notes. And then, what talents do I already embrace? What do I already have that serves this vision? There'll be something. Something will come through. And then definitely you can ask, what are my next steps? A lot of times people leave this one out. Something immediate that can be done in this moment, because a lot of times when you sit and you have a vision and you take notes, it's still very airy-fairy. You can ask, what actual step can I take next? And there might be something. It might be send an email or start a podcast, whatever. And then the final thing you ask, is there anything else? Is there anything else that I should know? Now, this visioning process, I didn't make it up. It was done by Reverend Michael Beckwith out of Agape in LA. And we teach courses and seminars and workshops on visioning. And every time you do it, which some people say do it every week, ask vision for your day in the morning, vision for the week, or at least quarterly. Do it with the people at work, do it with your family, even just a friend group. Because when we are more in touch with the divine idea of what we're meant to do, then guess what doesn't have as much power over us? Instagram, Facebook, other social media, or advertising that is meant to grab our attention and make us think we're not good enough, so therefore we must buy this item. We must sign up for this class, this coaching session, so we can be more of what, oh, by the way, it'll come with separating you from your money, which, I mean, choose wisely. Nothing wrong with taking classes and being coached. Choose wisely. But the idea here is that when we get into our divine power, what are we here to do? Well, that's when the magic happens. If we're stuck in external power, buying things that make us look like we have power, carrying around maybe certificates or badges that make us feel like we have power and other people better lay down, better kneel down because I have the ring and you need to kiss the ring, that could only get you so far. We still have to sit within. I mean, I'm giggling because I'm reminded of this story. All right, I'm just going to read it because it's absolutely insane. An officer from the Drug Enforcement Agency or Administration, from the DEA, stopped at a ranch, tells the rancher, I'm here to inspect your land for illegally grown drugs. The rancher replies, okay, but don't go in that field over there. The officer whips out his badge and hotly exclaimed, Mister, this badge makes me law and order in these parts, and I have the power to go where I damn well please. What? Okay. Have I made myself clear? He said I'm sure he was doing this by then. Okay. The old rancher nods politely and says, I'm sorry. I apologize. Go ahead. Do your thing. The officer walks into that field And soon the rancher hears the officer hollering and sees him running for his life, chased by an angry bull. To which the rancher yells, "Your badge! Show him your badge!" Dude, I love that story. How you got, this is so, it's so human nature though. It's so stage one human nature. We come in, tomorrow is Columbus Day, but it's also Native American Indigenous Peoples Day, where, as you know, 85% of their whole population was like wiped out just 100 years after the settlers came. For hundreds of, probably, I don't even know how long, centuries, these people were working with the land. They were working in harmony with Mother Nature. They had rituals that were harmonizing with the land. And here comes the colonizers, just wipes out everything, just forces their will upon the land and does whatever they want, just without even asking the questions, without even being respectful. And the story of the badge with the bull is a perfect example. I'm here and I'm doing, okay, what now? Nature's going to do what nature's going to do. So it's better maybe that we go not to the power over others and force our way in and be the bully because of the years of oppression. How about we go to the next stage where we're living in harmony with all that is, where we're living from our power, our clean power, our personal power. And I mean clean because it's the power that helps others. When we rise, others rise. It's the rising tide that raises all ships kind of power, not the combative power. And I will leave you, it's already time, with an Ernest Holmes quote. Ernest Holmes: "You must realize that this creative power which I am is also the creative power which you are, because you and I are one." Ernest Holmes, the book called Your Invisible Power. It's always so good to speak with you. Let me check the chat. Let's go ahead into our section where we do our affirmative prayer, where I speak my word into this law that always says yes. And I ask for exactly, I let it be known exactly what it is that we desire. So as I close my eyes and go within, I go to that space where we know that there's only one divine power, that power that I am and that you are. It is that one power that flung forth the galaxies. It is the power that keeps everything in orbit, in rotation. It is the gravity that holds life in all of its different ways and presentations together. It is the unseen as well as the seen. This power, it is beyond anything that we humans can even fathom. And it is also available right now. There is nothing that we have to do to earn access to this power. It is us as us. And we speak our word. In fact, we know that the highest good for all involved is available. In every problem, there's simply a possibility for some solution that raises all involved. It is not an either or, it's a both and. There's a all wins kind of solution in every problem. So I speak my word into this law that everyone has been affected by the 2 hurricanes are being held. They're being supported by seen and unseen hands. I speak my word that for the centenarians that have made their way to the next life, to the transition, that's Dan's mom and Kristen's grandma, and any part of our community that is on their way through those beautiful gates whatever that is, through the beautiful transition process. I speak my word that all is well, that there's love on this side of the veil and on the other side. Also, I just know that every member of this community and beyond is abundant, and we are discovering our power, and we are birthing it forth into the world in ways that nobody has ever seen before, because it's amazing, it's creative, it is ours. And it is here for us to share with the world. And I can't wait to watch as this community unfolds all of its gifts. So I give thanks for this awareness. I'm so grateful that I know that it is already done. So I simply say, and so it is. Ashe.
Amen. Ashe. It is so. I'm going to sing a song by Karen Drucker, and I want to invite you to sing along. You probably already have sung it and heard it before, but when I shout out those powers, those gifts, those fruits of the Spirit, if you don't sing or respond at any other time during the song, just make sure you echo that. Love, love, All right, here it comes. These are the gifts of the Spirit, love, joy, and peace. Gifts of the Spirit, I am ready to receive all the gifts of the Spirit, love, joy, and peace. Gifts of the Spirit, are you ready to receive? Love, love, are you ready? I am ready. Peace, peace, are you ready? I am ready. Joy, joy, are you ready? I am ready. I am ready to receive. These are the gifts of the Spirit, love, joy, and peace. Gifts of the Spirit, I am ready to receive all the gifts of the Spirit, love, joy, and peace. Gifts of the Spirit, are you ready to receive? Love, love, are you ready? I am ready. Peace, peace, are you ready? I am ready. Joy, joy, are you ready? I am ready. I am ready to receive. One more time. These are the gifts of the Spirit, love, joy, and peace. Gifts of the Spirit, I am ready to receive all the gifts of the Spirit, love, joy, and peace. Gifts of the Spirit, we are ready to receive. We are ready to receive.
Woo, my goodness gracious. Thank you. Oh, thank you so much, Leah, for that wonderful song that is going to stay with me all day. And I hope I can hang on to it all week. That was such a wonderful song. And Charlene, thank you once again for a great message. Okay, folks, this is the time in our service where we make our donations. We do what we do every Sunday because you help us. And as you give, so shall you receive. You give, you receive this wonderful meditation and message and music on Sundays or whenever you're sitting down and listening to it, for those on Facebook. And we also know that what we bring in, we share with our home organization and other organizations that help us with our mission to create a world that works for everyone. There are so many ways that you can give. It's easy to find something on our screen that works for you, no matter how you are giving. Just take that, place it over your heart. It might be physically, it might be just virtually, and join me in our blessing of our gifts. The presence of Spirit within me blesses everyone I meet, tends to heal everything I touch, brings gladness into the life of everyone I contact. Therefore, I am a blessing to myself, to humankind, and to the day in which I live. I am ready to receive, and so it is. All right, folks, it's time for announcements. So next Saturday, mark it in your calendars now so you don't forget. At 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, Charlene is leading the dream study. This is when Charlene and friends get together and they explore their dreams. What have you been dreaming about? What messages have been coming to you in your dreams? You might be able to figure it out on your own, or you might want to turn to Charlene and her friends, share your dreams, and get their help to see if they can help you uncover the messages that are buried in your dreams. And let's see if we have any other announcements. I'm going to do a quick one. If you are a member of our Leadership Council, we're going to have a meeting next Sunday following our service. I'll be sending out an email, but while I have the mic, I just thought I'd include that too. All right, folks, it's time for our closing affirmation. So once again, take your hands, put them over your heart. Just give yourself a little hug. Remember, you are so powerful. You have the power within. And join me in saying, I am love.
I am love.
Thank you, Renee. Thank you, Charlene. If you can, unmute. You know I love to hear this. All right, we have another one. You ready for the second round? This you can send out to anyone who you think needs it. It could be somebody in the room with you, a little furry companion, or it can be anyone. You know, maybe you want to send it out to the folks who are still recovering from the hurricanes. Maybe you want to send it out to someone who you know just needs this message. Let's send that out like a tidal wave. You ready? You are loved.
You are love.
You are love.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. And now put your hands up in the air. We call this our love sprinkles. Here we go. You ready? It's all love.
All love.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much. We are so pleased that you joined us here today. Thank you so much. I know it always recharges my battery. Each Sunday, this helps give me the power that I need to get through the week. If you can, stay. We hang out. We do our pearls. We talk about the message, the meditation, the service, anything that we want to share, anything that we want to discuss further. And we just kind of hang out with each other. It's our little coffee hour via Zoom. If you can't join us, know that we send you off with our love and blessings. From what I hear, it's going to be a gorgeous day. So we understand if you have to get a jump start. But if you can, please join us. And if not, we'll see you next Sunday. Have a lovely, lovely week. Bye-bye.